At one point it was being discarded. On the server side, I think we were getting the UID and forgetting it. So basically the pretty name, the screen name, serial number, perhaps your UID, and a public SSH key. And the SSH key...
We actually send an SSH key.
Yeah, public, the public bit.
So, someone added that part to Sugar.
So,
yes.
registration. Yeah, that's registration. Yeah, and that's what we use for the backup. The backup happens over, it's rsync over SSH.
Oh, okay.
So the server is creating full Unix accounts based on that, right? So that's the other side. Okay, there's several very small changes that I'm going to be talking with various people about. One thing that is coming up as a minor but persistent request is to be able to say, please trigger the backup now. So it's kind of a control panel thing that I might come asking to say, hey, can we have a button that if you register, you can say run the backup now? And people are saying, in upgrade scenarios, I'm about to upgrade this laptop, it would be good to say, please backup now.
As an implementation item, I noted passing that there may be other good ways to do that. For example, it could be that what you want is actually a school server device rather than a false knowledge.
Yeah, or a school server device. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's been requested
general
for a number of reasons before.
Sorry?
In fact, a school server device has been requested for a number of reasons before.
Okay, I'm interested in learning more about those reasons. There might be other things that are flying past me.
So you currently have, a mesh device, an access point device, and volume control, and a couple other things. And one idiom for expressing what the school server is that it's a fancy device.
Like an icon in the frame.
Yeah, or in the network view, where you see all your peers. And people are talking about adding printer devices, so that's another thing. Something else that is probably important. What was I saying? We need to wire up things to re-attempt registration, even if you are registered every random number of days or random number of time. Re-attempt registration, basically to provide for the fact that we are going to be extending the bits of data that we are sending to the server. Right? We want a few new fields, and we might want updated fields. In particular,
I have some problems with that one.
We have a lot of, if we say that we want the server certificate as part of registration, machines that are already registered to all the builds that are registered will have to retry registration, right? I'm happy to talk more about it. We only had 10 minutes.
What I want to mention is that Uruguay does something that works really well for them, which is they have the Exos phone a server regularly asking for ancillary small updates that the users perform. And it's been really happy. They've been really happy with that. It saved them on a bunch of occasions. There are some other problems with it, which Scott and I can talk about, but it does work well, and this is the same kind of thing.
Yeah. So it could.
I don't think we should be. It should just be telling our UID, password, and SSH key to anyone who asks necessarily. But
right.
certainly, once we've registered with a school server, we should have a mechanism for the school server to request our capabilities, more or less, which includes requesting those bits of information. Right? Because the school server is going to eventually have to support lots of different operating systems too. It would be good for it to know what it's dealing with on the other side.
Okay. And there's another thing that I need to talk to people about, and is the notion of the laptop having a better idea of what services the school server is providing, and using and attempting to use those before trying to get to a DNS name. So, for example, right now, if we're trying to do an activity update, and that's a little bit what Scott was saying, we're trying to do an activity, the activity updater or the operating system updater, they'll try either wiki.laptop.org or updates.laptop.org, updater.laptop.org.
Updates.
And it would be far better if we had a lightweight, network cheap way of saying, of attempting it locally against the school server. And in that sense, it's probably a good idea to try and see if we can get a notion of, is a school server in sight? Are we near a school server? and so it's justifiable to attempt these things. We are in some network that there's no school server, don't even try, right? But there are some things that it would be very beneficial for many utilities and things to start saying, do we have a school server, and behave just slightly different, just slightly optimized.
It's clear from past experience that Scott and I are much, much, much happier not doing that, and instead using easy to pick out DNS names that can be overridden. So could you explain a little bit about how this would be much easier for you to work with?
Okay. If you say easier to pick up DNS names, and what it means is that you try updates before trying updates.laptop.org, I'm in agreement, and I'm fine with that. And that would be, in a sense, a way of advertising a service. A DNS, hang on. You know, I do a lookup for updates, and if my DNS service has something for that, I'll try to, has a response for that, I consider, in a sense, a soft way of announcing that it has that service, so I'll try to connect to that. And if it doesn't work, I'll fall back to updates.laptop.org. If the expectation is that the utility will do a lookup for updates.laptop.org in full, what that forces, if I want to serve that from the local server, sorry?
If you want to intercept it.
Yeah, if I want to intercept it, I have to run a split horizon DNS where I'm masking good DNS names that otherwise would point to the real internet, and which means that I'm breaking the internet, right? For updates.laptop.org, it's not so clear. I don't think we serve anything else from there. But for activities, for example, I would break wiki.laptop.org, right? And okay, so I know that the update, the activities updater uses HTTP. So instead of intercepting it at the DNS level, I could intercept it at the proxy level, at the HTTP proxy level. And that is possible, but it's only possible with HTTP because it's a proxy-friendly protocol.
Right, that's why I use
Most
HTTP.
other protocols that we have, most other network protocols we have, are not proxy-friendly, are not proxy-transparent that we can make HTTP to be, and so breaking the internet is not a path forward for me. In general,
But I don't think it's profitable to talk about things in the abstract, right? The services that you're actually interested in practicing for, we're carefully designed to use HTTP so that you could do exactly what you're
okay,
talking
but it's a very limiting thing. It is a very limited. I mean, I do see that there's some thinking behind that, but it doesn't stop being a workaround around the fact that it's a hack and a workaround making sure that we don't use.
It integrates with a larger strategy for providing offline content. If you've got a connection to the internet, you should connect to updates.laptop.org, and it will tell you whether or not you should use a school server. If you don't have a connection to the laptop, go ahead and lie about DNS because you're going to do a better job of resolving those than just letting those things disappear in the black hole.
I'm not sure about the first point.
When you talk to updates.laptop.org, it gives you a list of things to try, and among that list of things is the school server, right? Any arbitrary DNS. It doesn't have to be a school server. It says try these things in order. Try your local school server. If you can't find the right build in local school server, try Uruguay's mirror. Try this, try that, right? And it knows better than you do what those mirrors are.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the deployment's going to have to rely on us, our server, to be online to tell their clients where to go.
Yeah.
They would much rather
There's a
just
delegation
my
mechanism in
clients,
place
my
so
server,
that they
just get it off
can
the server
take the whole block of addresses if they want to.
Yeah, but they'll break the
tweaking their
internet
DNS.
for that. This is not the way these things are done.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I guess they could.
I mean, you're looking wiki.laptop.org.
I'm
We
saying-
can mask it. I'll mask wiki.laptop.org, or I'll mask updates. But it's only good if the only thing ever updates serves is rsync. And if
So
updates.laptop.org
yes,
ever serves something
you should
else,
have a
I'm breaking
cache
it.
on your school server, which caches wiki.laptop.org and that page in particular. And if you're offline, yes, you should be serving the cached pages, right, rather than nothing.
Yes.
If you've got a cache on your local school server, that's all you need. You don't need to play any games with wiki.laptop.org. Just serve the cached content. That's what it's there for.
What's the problem with just looking up OLPC-updates first, and if you see that host name,